What's good, T Squad? Welcome back to the ColorMePynk channel. Today's headline is jaw dropping. So if you have not heard, STORMI Steele from Love and Marriage Huntsville and owner of Canvas Beauty recently just fired her COO, Kyle. And now he's suing her for wrongful termination. Child, it is a lot going on. This man went on his Instagram and put out a whole Instagram PSA and broke down what happened between him and STORMI, and it is messy. Y'all ready to get into this? Because I'm ready to read it. Mind you, T Squad, I have not read any of this, so I'm learning about all of what he has to say right along with you guys. It begins with statement from Kyle Evanick. Hey everyone, hope all is well. I wanted to take a few moments to share something that has been on my mind. I'm heartbroken to share the news that I am no longer working with STORMI Steele as Canvas Chief Operations Officer. STORMI sent me a termination notice on Friday, July 26th, stating I was terminated as of Monday, July 22nd. Let me explain, or skip ahead to slide 6 for the summary of where things stand. Over the last 18 months, I've been working with STORMI Steele, founder and CEO of Canvas Beauty, on rebuilding the legacy of the company. When we started working together, we began marketing Body Glaze to the world, marking the start of a roller coaster ride of business with many ups and many downs. The challenge was extremely difficult. Turn around a business in debt that was losing money monthly and that had hundreds of unfulfilled orders from 2+ months back. Now, we all know that STORMI has been under fire for back shipments, shipping people out their stuff late, and I mean not a few days, but literally months late. So he ain't lying about that so far. First on board to work on advertising, we'd get customers complaining in the ads comments pretty much immediately. I quickly saw that more than marketing help was needed for a full recovery. I rolled up my sleeves, personally sent hundreds, if not thousands of emails to customers apologizing for the mistakes of the past predating my time and helping to right every wrong with limited budget and limited resources. But there was a part of the challenge that I loved. I loved helping customers get what they deserved. I loved having a part in making things right. I spent hours laying on my couch at night writing customized apology emails. And even though I had been happy working on my own marketing business, I co-founded Cracker Jack, I guess is what it's supposed to be. I felt the call of the wild to dive in headfirst into what would become the most challenging and rewarding project of my life. Toward the end of April 2023, STORMI and I agreed for me to come aboard as a true partner, joining her as her right hand with an agreement to split equity and profits. We both saw the potential in one another, and after seeing some initial traction, saw we were a dream team that was so powerful combined. Even though I quickly helped the business as a whole turn profitable within just a few months, the lifestyle creep of the CEO would deplete the accounts. What? Did he just call this lady a creep? The lifestyle creep of the CEO would deplete the accounts, basically saying she don't know how to manage her money and trying to keep up this lifestyle. She up here spending company money, basically, child. And just about every month that followed was gut punch after gut punch. New lawsuits from the past would pop up. Debtors would circle back, and it even got to a point where our website was shut down from unpaid bills. Wow. Holding out hope and seeing the vision for success so clearly in my head, I forewent my monthly retainer and lent STORMI and the business somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000. I refused to give up after so much effort. Wow, that's generous, because most folks ain't giving that up, baby. Not at all. But judging by what he's saying, he was literally all in and willing to sacrifice his own income to really help this business, because not only did he want to see her win, the company win, but himself win, because he had equity in the company as well. And after more ups and more downs, around September of 2023, we finally struck big. We landed on expanding into TikTok Shop. And after some initial roadblocks, we quickly became the top selling beauty product on that platform. As the holiday season rolled around, we really moved mountains to keep up with demand. Our $10,000 sales days turned into $100,000 sale days. We were on cloud nine, and I felt every day that it was a dream I could wake up from at any time. Even though I was doing the job of 5 people, the kid inside of me was beaming with pride at becoming an executive at a beauty company, and arguably the fastest growing one in the world. Now, we've all seen the come up that Canvas Beauty has had within the last about 9 months, and he's not lying. He's not lying. And Stormi has stated that she was broke pretty much. She was in debt, almost lost her business, but they did have a really huge turnaround within the last 8 months. And I can't say verbatim that this man is the cause of it, but he had to have helped the situation some, if not a lot. The holiday season was good to us, and we ended the year with a $475,000 sales day. That is amazing. We were beyond over the moon. As the months of 2024 progressed, the stakes became higher and higher, and the workload, of course, too. Having held on to much of the work I accumulated when funds were tight, I was doing the work of customer service, graphic and label design, marketing, inventory and supply chain management, human resources, payroll, finances, product development, business development, and vendor relations, including with our favorite partner, TikTok. Girl, this man about to take her for everything she got. You know this white man got receipts. Ooh, girl. But through all the hard work, we ended March with nearly $5 million in sales, quite literally about 25 times more from a year prior. We were on top of the world. TikTok lives became more high stakes too. We broke records with TikTok, first becoming the first brand to sell 400,000 plus in a single live stream. And then in June, becoming the first brand, and Stormi the first creator to sell over 1 million in a single live. We did another live earlier this month in July of 2024, selling over 1.1 million worth of Canvas products in a single day. In just under a year on TikTok, we sold over 20 million worth of products. The number and the story were simply unbelievable. Man, God was blessing them, and he was right. Whatever they were doing, they were the dream team. I followed Stormi and the team back to Alabama after the most recent live to help pack and fulfill orders. Fulfilling $1 million worth of product from a single day is no joke, let alone all the other accumulated orders that came rolling in after. During this trip, Stormi and I had some business disagreements, but nothing out of the ordinary, and certainly nothing extreme, especially for 2 executives of the fastest growing beauty company. We hugged it out after every disagreement and continually reference our yin and yang mantra, a reminder that we're different but perfect complements for one another. I left to go home in California on Tuesday, July 16th. After a few days working back at home, the relationship was business as usual until Thursday, July 18th. Stormi had talked to me about wanting to get a business valuation, a 409A. I agreed, of course, wanting to know how much value we've created in the last year. I reminded Stormi about the importance of keeping books clean and was immediately met with rage. Like the switch flipped. Rage that I hadn't been reminding her to do certain things she said she would. Rage I hadn't hired a CFO. Rage that I was pushing back on some personnel hiring decisions Stormi was suggesting. Okay, so right here, Stormi wanted the business to be evaluated, I guess, to see how much company would be worth. And so he was like, yeah, I want to know now too. And he reminded her that, you know, when we do this, we got to make sure the books is straight. Everything is in order because, you know, they're going to be going through everything with a fine tooth comb. He's alleging that she was enraged. I guess maybe she felt like he was accusing her of not keeping the books correct and that she might have been, doing something she had no business doing. He's also alleging in this part that she got mad at him because he hadn't hired a CFO, which would be somebody, I guess, that would be up underneath him. And she was mad and going off about wanting to hire somebody in personnel, I guess, that they didn't agree upon. So it seemed like he said, she flipped the switch and just started going off on him. Now, I don't know if this was due to guilt or stress or what. I don't know. I'm not Stormy. We don't know if this is true. This is just what this man is alleging. She immediately asked for a full list of everything I do, and in the same breath accused me of intentionally doing so much to try to make myself irreplaceable and in an effort to hurt the business. Oh, wow. So she basically saying he was trying to make it so hard for her to be able to fire him because he was doing so much. Girl, that just means you wasn't doing enough and you were solely depending a lot on him if this is true, which is not a good thing, because y'all obviously needed more help on the business side of things. It seemed like it was you and him pretty much doing everything on the business side of things. Him, if he's telling the truth, had a lot more on his plate than it seemed like she did, because he probably knew more about how to handle the accounts and vendors and things of that nature. Because obviously Stormy didn't know what the hell she was doing because they were in debt heavily before this man came on board. So it seemed like if what he's saying is true, to me it seems like she was trying to do a mind fuck on him and place blame on him so she could make him look like the bad guy. And it also seemed like she might have had a guilty conscience. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, tried to do Uno reverse on him so she could have a reason to be mad and upset with him and take the heat off of her, allegedly. Let's continue. I was dumbfounded at the accusations, obliged to providing the list of duties, of course, because I always would follow the directions of my CEO and business partner. I also included every one of my contacts, vendors, and everyone that would be helpful should I, God forbid, be hit by a bus. The next day, on Friday, July 19th, I called Stormy asking to get clarity about my roles and responsibilities going forward, as she had said the prior day she was stripping me of some of my usual duties like payroll that I had been managing for about a year and was already in the process of handing off to a colleague. During this phone call, when I mentioned that I sent a full list of everything I do and my contacts should she need to replace me, she panicked and kept insisting that I was quitting and resigning. Why would he be saying in case she needed to replace him? I thought at first he was saying it was in case, God forbid, anything ever happened to him, which was random and weird also. That's a little weird for me. That ain't sitting well with me, but let's continue. I denied this several times, saying over and over I wasn't quitting and I was not resigning, but Stormy replied with many hurtful things, including that out of all the people she has ever worked with, including those that stole from her, that I was the worst of them all. This stung. She told me we're done, over and over, and to talk to my lawyer. We said bye and hung up. So, this is weird. This whole part of it is weird for me. And this is where, two sides of the story and you got the truth in the middle. I'm not really getting this part, because if at first he's saying that he gave her his contacts and vendors and everything that he does just in case anything ever happened to him, because she asked for it. Then when he said that he brought it back up again to her, he said that, he did it in case she ever needed to replace him, and that she started panicking saying, oh, you quitting. And he was like, no. But she said, yes, you are. You're the worst person I ever worked with. I'm done. We're done. It's over. And that was that. Now, you can see this from two different ways based off what he's saying. You can take it as, once again, Stormi was using this to have any excuse to let him go because she might have been doing something illegally that she didn't have no business doing. And she made sure she got his contacts and vendors before he left. And then you can take this as a part of the story is missing and he's not 100% telling the truth, because it got real murky there for me. He says, she called me back about an hour later. I asked to record the conversation, and the conclusion of the call was that we would cool off, enjoy the weekend to come, and talk again on Sunday. She kept insisting I tell her what my handoff plan would be, but I was explaining my head was still spinning at the idea of leaving the company I had dedicated my life to over the last year and a half. We ended the call on good terms and wished each other a happy weekend. So he asked to record the conversation. She obviously said yes. And in that conversation, he's saying that they said that they would take the weekend to cool off. But then she kept insisting on him telling her what would his handoff plan be, meaning who would you get to replace you since you're leaving the company. But I thought that they'd agreed that they was going to cool off. Girl, what? He says not even a few hours after the call, Stormi had started to inform our vendors, namely TikTok, that she would need to be included in conversations going forward. So if what he's saying is true, then what I assumed would have been verified, that she wasn't as involved on the business end of things like she should have been, and that he was taking care a lot of the day-to-day business stuff. And she was basically probably making sure the warehouse was running, being the face of the company, doing marketing and promotions. But he was the one handling the accounts, talking to vendors, stock, all of that type of stuff that she should have been included in on from the beginning. And it seemed like he had more business control over her business than she did, which is a F on her part, because that man could have been doing anything with your money, with your business, signing paperwork. Like, you don't let nobody have that much control because you're not sitting down and learning what you need to know. That's why people were able to steal from you in the first place. You know what I'm saying? She don't know how to handle her business. She really don't. She needs to be going to business school or something, because that's ridiculous. Let's continue. The next day, on Saturday morning, I woke up having been locked out of my work email and thus nearly everything I've worked on for the past year and a half, including my personal financial expense spreadsheet. On Sunday, when Stormi reached out about time to talk on the phone, I told her my head was still spinning and that locking me out of my email and contacting TikTok on Friday evening right after our conversation about cooling off really violated my trust. Sensing tensions were still high, I said I would be taking an LOA, leave of absence, starting on Monday, July 22nd. Having never taken a true day off in the last 18 months since we started working together. I reaffirmed my belief in her and my wish for the success of the company, regardless of if she chose to have me back. She said she'd reach out later in the week. On Tuesday, July 23rd, her lawyer reached out to me asking for a phone call to discuss Stormi and our parting ways, which was news to me. After explaining the situation of the last few days, how that officially parting ways was news to me, and how I didn't feel comfortable talking to her legal team without representation of my own, I didn't hear anything from them until Friday, July 26th. When Friday rolled around, at the end of the day around 5 p.m. my time, I received an email from Stormi indicating that I had been terminated as of Monday, July 22nd, on the day that I had taken my leave of absence. In this same email, Stormi included a separation agreement that meant I'd sign away any claims I have for my share of unpaid profits, 7 figures, any claims I have for ownership / equity, and my ability to speak openly about my experience working with Stormi and Canvas. Additionally, there was a portion of that agreement saying I could not work in the beauty products industry for 24 months, among many other things that could limit my career, all in exchange for 1 month's pay. Stormy was out of her goddamn mind. But what's crazy is a lot of businesses put clauses like that in their contracts. I've had clauses like that in my author contracts, my literary contracts, where it would state that I couldn't go and work with another publishing company for a year, or I would have to give the company that I was already signed to first right of refusal, meaning they had the first rights to my book. And if they wanted to give me an offer, I could then negotiate with them, turn them down, and then go to another company. But I would have to wait out the terms of the first right of refusal clause before we could even get that ball rolling. So I don't think he lying about that part, that's what he's claiming she wanted him to sign off on. And then him only getting 1 month of pay. What about all the equity and things that he had in the company? What about the money that he let you borrow to, keep the business afloat when it was still heavily in debt? So I bet you my bottom dollar that he did not sign that agreement. Of course, I didn't sign. At this point in time, I'm heartbroken to have been ousted by the person I have just short of dedicated my life to over this past year and a half. After all the sleepless nights, all the collaboration, all of the work, effort, and strategy that has gone into creating one of the most successful beauty brands of all time, to be pushed out over something so minute shortly after discussing that the company could possibly be worth 9 figures. It's so bizarre to me. Someone who I would have arguably called my best friend, someone who openly shared every detail of her life with me, someone who called me an uncle to her son, someone who asked me for my advice on family matters, and who I talked to several times a day, just about every single day over the last 18 months, to push me out over something so minor. I am sad to share that I have retained legal counsel, and while I hope for an amicable resolution, I will utilize every legal avenue available to me. All that I am asking for is what was promised to me, because I strongly feel, as she put it in her own words, the night of the Valentine's Day gala, that I really did turn everything around. Ooh, girl, and he got recorded of her saying it. Woo! Thanks for reading. Sincerely, Kyle Evanco. Yeah, Stormy, you might as well just go ahead and cut that check. Baby, go ahead and cut that check and be done with it, okay? Be done with it. He also attached this post that Stormy posted after their success with TikTok, where she wrote, "Yesterday was a movie. I literally can't believe that me, a black girl from a no stoplight town in Mississippi, will go down in history with one of the biggest companies in the world, TikTok, as being the first person and brand to hit $1 million in sales from a single live stream in the entire United States. What we did will help hundreds, if not thousands, of entrepreneurs and brands after us change the landscape of e-commerce as we know it today. I ran so y'all could walk, and I am beyond grateful for the opportunity. I almost lost my company last year," which he highlighted. "So to be here today is nothing but God, and I don't take a single moment for granted. I also can't thank my team enough. Every single member of my team made this possible. My husband for helping Canvas get off the ground back in 2018. It was just us in that kitchen and you taking packages to the post office every day. We wouldn't be here if not for you. And I have to give a major shout out to the greatest COO in the world at Kyle SUES. I'll never be able to thank you enough for believing in the company when we were at our lowest, and always seeing the vision and mentoring me into the best CEO I can be. It's amazing what we've done in a year. Hashtag yin yang. Hashtag dream girl." Yeah. Stormy, it ain't looking too good for you. It ain't looking too good. And this man, I know he got all the receipts. He got all his ducks in a row. And it doesn't look to me like Stormy will have her ducks in a row on her end. I saw a little bit of her interview that she did with B. Simone, and she didn't even know technical terms on certain things. She had to look off into the audience and ask staff members or whoever she had with her for clarity on certain things. Like, girl, you got to pull it together. You need to go to business class. You need to have somebody that's actually helping you, mentor you to learn the business side of your company, or you're going to continue to have these ebbs and flows, or it's going to get to the point where you're going to get so far low that you're not going to be able to get back up again. You can't be out here having a $1 million company and you don't even know how to run it. And then you had this man come in that turned your company around allegedly and was doing everything behind the scenes. And now what? Now that he gone, what are you going to do now? You going to find somebody else to take care of all his responsibilities that he was over there doing, stuff that you should know how to do or should be doing yourself? You need to be having a close eye on everything that's going on with Canvas Beauty. There is no reason why you were not on phone calls with TikTok. What? How you just letting people do stuff for you? I understand that you have to delegate certain things, but with a startup company like this, you need to be in the know, girl. You need to be doing everything that is said. You need to be writing stuff down. You need to be having records of everything that is going on, because these people will run around you in circles and take you for everything that you got. That is craziness. Crazy. I think that she needs to go ahead and pay this man if everything that he is saying is true. I just want to know, like, where all this came from. It seems to me like, if from what he just said and everything, this had nothing to do with getting the company appraised to find out its worth and finding out that it was worth millions. To me, it seems like when he brought up, you got to make sure them books is clean, it was like a hit dog hollered. Okay. That's what I'm getting from it. Y'all tell me down below in the comment section what y'all get from all of this. Who do you believe? What do you think should happen? Do you think that they could truce it out and work back together again? Do you think this is a horrible decision for Stormi to let this man go? Woo, child, let's talk about all of this down below in the comment section. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And you guys, next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, please check out my interview with two-time Olympic gold medalist Natasha Hastings. She won the 4x400 meter relay race 2 times at the Olympics. She is an avid T-Squad member. She's going to give us all the behind the scenes tea on the Olympics, her experience and everything else. So please make sure that you guys tune in next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. I love you guys. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.